Starfield got delayed again. It was supposed to be coming out in the first half of this year, but it was just announced that it will be coming out on September 6th. And shout out to my fellow Europeans who thought it was June 9th. Yeah, that one hurt. So why was Starfield delayed again? Well, I can give you a very simple answer. It isn't finished, or at least it's very unpolished. I actually think if Bethesda wasn't under Xbox's command, we would have seen Starfield a bit earlier, but more on that later. First, let's look at why they would delay Starfield in the first place, cause a lot of companies don't seem to have a problem with releasing unpolished games.
And it keeps you going.
As most of you know, Xbox acquired Bethesda in 2020, and Starfield is the first big system seller that is coming out of Bethesda since the acquisition, so there is a lot of pressure behind this release. Another point why the pressure is so high, it just has been a really long time since Bethesda released their last single-player RPG, which was Fallout 4 in 2015. And I think if Starfield launched in the same state Fallout 76 launched, it would really hurt Bethesda's reputation and now also Xbox's reputation, since this is their big console exclusive. Situations like this are really tough, because there is really no winning for Bethesda. Because either they release the game now in a less polished state and people get mad, or they delay it again and people get mad. I think most of the time delaying is the better option, since people get mad now, because when it actually releases and it's a good game that performs well, people will forget all about those delays, and in the end you get a happier community. If we circle back a little bit to how these delays came to be, I think Bethesda made a critical error with revealing their initial release date. In June of 2021, they set the release date to November of 2022. So they set a fixed release date almost 1.5 years in advance. And I think video game companies should just never do this. It's just way too far in advance and so much can go wrong in the meantime. Another problem with this is that a specific release date also seems much more secure than a release year or a release window. With those there's still some wiggle room, but with a specific release date it does seem they are more confident they're gonna hit it. And this is also what we heard from Todd Howard, because just after the initial release date reveal, we got an interview with Todd Howard, and the interviewer was a bit skeptical of the release date. He said, so we have a release date now that is written in pencil, and then Todd Howard actually corrected him and was like, no, it's not written in pencil, it's written in ink. Which made him look way more confident about the release date.
You know, you've got Starfield, you have a release date that's in, I'm going to call it pencil on the calendar. You've penciled it right now. I don't think no game release dates get written in ink anymore until like they've...
Yeah, we wrote it pretty hard in that trailer. So.
Well, I want to ask you about that in a minute, but...
That felt like some ink, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
in those 2 years between then and now, something definitely must have gone wrong in development. Otherwise you wouldn't be going from being sure of your release date and then delaying it by 10 months. It is actually strange seeing the duality of things Todd Howard said and then what actually happens with the game and what Bethesda does. Because in another interview last December, he said that it was maybe possible to have the game out in November 2022 on its original release date, but they would have needed to work very hard on it, and it would have been in a rougher state than it is now. Here Todd also said that he didn't mind running the game at 30 FPS as long as it looked good. So what have we learned from all this? Games should never announce a release date and start their marketing cycle this far in advance. They should probably keep it to around 9 to 6 months, cause this just feels like they're stringing us along. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much, I hope you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to stay updated on all the latest Starfield news. And then I'll see you guys at the next video.